Hello everyone, my name is Arohi and welcome to my channel. So guys, in this video we will see what is anomaly detection, how anomaly detection algorithm work, and then finally we'll see the practical implementation of it. So anomaly detection is the task of recognizing uncommon events, items or observations that are different from normal behavior or patterns. So using it we can spot patterns that don't match the expected behavior. And anomaly detection is used in various domains, like we can detect fraud in finance, intrusion detection in cybersecurity. Then we can use anomaly detection systems in fault detection in industrial systems and health monitoring in healthcare systems, or we can use them in surveillance monitoring, where anomalies like fighting, stealing, accidents can be detected. Okay, so this video anomaly detection relies on two things. First is spatial information and second is temporal information. Spatial refers to space and temporal refers to time. So spatial information means the information about the position, size, shape and orientation of the objects, while temporal information means how objects change or move over time, including speed, acceleration, direction and interaction with other objects. Okay, understanding how objects move and the relationship among them and the scene is essential for detecting anomalies. Now let's see how does video anomaly detection work. So there are two main types of video anomaly detection methods based on how they learn. Okay, so the first is one class classification approach and the second method is weakly supervised learning approaches. Now let's understand both the approaches one by one. So first we are starting with the one class classification. So in these methods, model only trained on normal video, and the idea here is to understand how normal behavior looks like, and assuming that the anomalies are rare and can be treated as outliers. To learn what's normal, we use something called feature learning. Feature learning means the process of identifying and extracting relevant features or patterns from the input data. These features could include various aspects like motion patterns and then color distributions, texture or any other characteristic that differentiate the normal behavior from the anomalies. To learn these features, various models are available. For example, researchers have started using autoencoders to automatically learn feature directly from the data. Okay, once you extract the feature from the input video, model is trained to reconstruct those videos based on the features, and the goal is to make the reconstructed video as similar as possible to the original one. Okay, so the main aim over here is to minimize the reconstruction error. Okay, so minimize the reconstruction error means that if your generated video, reconstructed video looks similar to the original video, that means the reconstruction error is 0. So the objective of training is to minimize the difference between the original input video and the reconstructed videos. Once model is trained, and then during inference, during testing, when we provide a new input video to the model, the trained model will then extract the feature and attempts to reconstruct the input. If the reconstruction error exceeds the predefined threshold value, that means the input is considered as anomaly. Okay, so we'll define this threshold value during the training only, based on the assumption that anomalies will have significantly different features as compared to the normal videos. Okay, so if the error is below the threshold, the input is considered normal. So this is how one class classification approach works. Now let's see how this weakly supervised learning approach works. One class classification based video anomaly detection approaches train a model using only normal videos. Okay, but in weakly supervised learning video anomaly detection approaches, we use both normal and anomalous videos during training. Okay, so in weakly supervised learning, we have videos, normal and anomalous, to train our model. we just provide one label to the entire video, that is normal or anomalous. We don't know exactly where anomalies happen in a video. We just know that in this video there is some anomaly, but we don't know the location that where that anomaly actually happens. Okay, so we just label the entire video as anomalous if there is any anomaly in any frame of that video. Okay, this approach is simpler than labeling individual frames. So traditionally in anomaly detection, you would need to go through each video and manually label each segment or instance where anomaly occurs. Okay, so this process is called annotation and it is time consuming and labor extensive. Instead of doing this, the author, okay, so now guys, let me show you the paper which we are going to implement. Okay, so for this tutorial I'm going to implement this paper, and in this paper they have used this weekly supervised approach to perform anomaly detection. They are not using the one class classification approach. So now let's discuss more about this weekly supervised learning. So what we were discussing is that traditionally in anomaly detection we need to manually annotate the dataset, and that process is long and time consuming and this is labor intensive, right? So instead of doing this, the author of this paper proposed a method where they don't have to label each anomaly. Okay, so in this approach they treat the entire video as a bag. What they are calling each video is a bag that contains multiple instances or segments. So think of a bag as the entire video, and instances or segments are like the small part of the video, like some frames or short clip. Okay, so instead of precisely labeling each segment, they label the entire video as normal or anomalous without specifying where in the video the anomaly occurs. This labeling is called weak supervision because it is not as detailed as segment level annotation. This technique is called multiple instance learning. So this MIL has gained attention from many researchers in the field of video anomaly detection recently. For example, you can see in this paper only, the paper which we are going to implement today. In this paper here you can see that they have used the MIL. Okay, and let's understand what is multiple instance learning. So it is a machine learning framework where you have bags and each bag is associated with a label. If the video contains an anomaly, it is a positive bag, otherwise it is a negative bag. So because we only have video level signals and no signals for the individual frames or segment, we can't use common loss functions like mean square error or cross entropy directly. Okay, instead of that we will use a ranking loss. Now let's understand what is this ranking loss, how this ranking loss will help MIL to improve in order to distinguish between the anomalous and the normal video. Here they have used the regression approach for this task. That means anomaly detection is framed as a regression problem. We'll solve it as a regression problem. The goal here is to assign the higher anomaly score to anomalous video segments than to normal ones. So the idea behind using a ranking loss is to ensure that the highest anomaly score of a positive bag is higher than the higher anomaly score of a negative bag. Okay, this is because not all the segments in an anomalous video may be anomalous, but at least one segment should have a higher anomaly score than all the segments in a normal video. So during training, the model processes both positive and negative bags, and for each bag the model calculates an anomaly score. This score represents how likely it is that the bag contains an anomaly, and the maximum anomaly score among all the segments within a video within a bag is used to represent the bag's overall anomaly level. Okay, the goal is for the model to assign a higher anomaly score to positive bag, means anomalous video, than to negative bags, that means normal videos. If the maximum anomaly score of a negative bag is higher than that of a positive bag, it means the model incorrectly considered the normal video as more anomalous than the actual anomalous video, and this is a mistake. To correct this mistake, the model is penalized. This means that the loss function increases when the maximum anomaly score of a negative bag is higher than that of a positive bag. So by penalizing this error, the model learns to correctly distinguish between the positive and the negative bag, ensuring that the anomalous videos receive higher anomaly score than the normal video. And then during inference, once your model is trained, and during inference, our trained model is used to process each video segment one by one to produce an anomaly score, which is then compared with the threshold to decide if the segment is normal or anomalous. So this is the basic idea of MIL, and here I have told you that how this reconstruction error work in general. Now let's see how this MIL based approaches usually work. What are the different components in it? Okay, so MIL based approaches usually consist of at least two modules. First is a video processing backbone and the second is prediction head. So we'll start with the video processing backbone because it is the initial module of the video anomaly detection model, and its purpose is to process input video segments and extract features, and then those extracted features we convert them into embeddings. And typically 3D convolutional neural network such as C3D or I3D is utilized for this task for extracting the features. There are pre-trained models are available to extract features, so we can use those pre-trained model to extract the features which are trained on large data sets. After that, once you have the features extracted from the video, we converted those features into embedding. Then we have a prediction head. The prediction head takes the embedding from the backbone and predicts an anomaly score. This score indicates the likelihood of the video segments contain anomalies. So there are various architectures available for the prediction head. So for example, the paper which we are going to implement today, in that paper they have used the fully connected layer for prediction network, right? But there are some other papers also where they have used the graph convolutional network. Now let's talk about the dataset. So the dataset which I'm using for this tutorial is UCF crime dataset, and in this paper also they have used the same dataset. So apart from the normal class, there are 13 classes of real world anomalies in this dataset, and these are those 13 classes. Some of them are fighting, accidents, robbery, shooting. Okay, so in our today's tutorial we will try to detect these 13 anomalies. Okay, so this dataset consists of 1900 untrimmed videos obtained from real world surveillance cameras, and the dataset is divided into training set of 1610 videos where we have 800 normal videos and 810 anomalous videos with the video level labels, and the test set have 290 videos where 150 videos are normal and 140 we have 140 anomalous videos. Okay, let's start with the implementation part now. The code which we are going to implement as related to this paper. First, start with the command prompt, open command prompt, and first thing is to activate the environment, and for this tutorial we are using Python 3.8, and I have created that environment over here in this folder. My environment name is myvenv script, and activate. This is how you activate the environment. Now the environment is activated. Check the Python version. Python version is 3.8.10. okay, now let's go to the directory where our anomaly detection code is. So for that I have created a separate directory with the name of anomaly detection. I've entered in that directory. Here you need to clone the official GitHub repo of this paper. Let me show you the GitHub repo. So this is the official GitHub repo. Just scroll down. This is the code which we need, but this code is implemented using TensorFlow and Keras, and this is implemented using the old versions of TensorFlow and Keras. So we are not going to use that. When you scroll down, you will see that this code is also available for PyTorch framework. So click on this link and we will be redirected to this repo, and here we have this code is exactly the same like the previous one, but that code is in TensorFlow and Keras, and this code is in PyTorch. So we'll implement it. So first you will clone this GitHub repo. When you clone this GitHub repo, how you can clone it? Just copy this from here, go to the command prompt, write git clone and then paste that link and hit enter. You will see a folder with this name in this directory. Okay, so this is how you clone the GitHub repo. Now let me show you my cloned repo. So this is my anomaly detection folder, right? So here we are in anomaly detection folder only. So inside that, this is the repo which we have cloned, and here we have the dataset. Now let me show you the dataset. Let's open the dataset and see what kind of videos we have, then I'll show you how to download it. And here this is guys, this is not the entire dataset. I have just downloaded half of it. Now let's open this first part, and here you'll see the different folder: abuse, arrest, arson and assault. So in abuse you will see the different videos which are related to this abuse label only. So this is one of the video. Right? So like this you will see different videos related to this abuse class in this, and under arrest you will see the videos related to that, right? So in video part 2 you will have the different classes and explosion, fighting, burglary, and in video part 3 you will see the different classes like this, because we have 13 different kind of anomalies, right? So this dataset I have downloaded from, let me show you how to download this dataset. Just scroll down. This is the PyTorch repo. Okay, scroll down. Under this dataset section you will see these two links. So from any of these links you can download the dataset. I have downloaded the dataset from Dropbox from here, and here there are different, they have divided the dataset into parts, and this dataset is a large dataset. Every folder is around 5 GB or 6 GB. Okay, so from here you can download the dataset. Now we have the GitHub repo, the code of anomaly detection, and we also have the dataset. The next thing is to install the requirements, and this is a list of packages, and these are the list of packages which you need to install. First you will install the PyTorch, because we are running this code on PyTorch framework, so PyTorch is required. And if you are using any GPU, then make sure that you have CUDA installed, and as per your CUDA version install the PyTorch version, and you can install the PyTorch from the official PyTorch site. Okay. Let me show you the CUDA version which I am using, and as per that CUDA version which command I use to install the PyTorch. For that, just go to the C drive and then program files, scroll down and you will see NVIDIA GPU Computing Toolkit. Here you will see the CUDA folder, and inside that you can see that the CUDA version is 11.8. So this is the CUDA version which I have installed. Now I will install the PyTorch as per this CUDA version, and how we do that, just go to the command prompt and here you will type a command. So this is my command, pip install. I want to use this PyTorch version, this Torch Vision version and this Torch Audio version, and with CUDA 11.8. So like this you need to pick the right command for you, and you can get those commands from PyTorch official site from here. Scroll down. Okay, so if you want to work with the latest version, then you can pick this, and if you are using CUDA 11.8, then select this. If you are using 12.1 CUDA, then select this, and on the basis of these selections you'll get a command over here. Just copy this and paste on your command prompt and hit enter. But if you want to work with the previous versions, as I have used the previous versions, click on the previous versions, and from here you can see the different commands as per the different CUDA versions, and then you can pick it from here. Okay, so once you install PyTorch, after that you need to install these few packages, and I have mentioned all these packages in the GitHub repo. I have given the link of GitHub repo in description section. Just open that GitHub repo and follow all the steps, and you will have your environment ready. So now we have installed everything, all the packages. Next thing is to install LAV filters. To run the output of our code, we need LAV filters, and for that just visit this page. The link of this also mentioned in my repo. Okay, from here just download this exe file and then install it. Now the next step is to download the feature extraction model. And why we need this feature extraction model? So guys, remember in my theory I've told you that first step is to extract the features, and then we'll send those extracted features to the prediction head. So for feature extraction we can use pre-trained models. We are using this. Okay, go back to this directory and scroll down here. Under this feature extractor weights, we will use this C3D to extract the features. Okay, you can download this file from here. Once we download the feature extractor weight file, go to your repo here in D drive under anomaly detection. This is our official repo. Just go inside it and you will see a pre-trained folder over here. In this folder you will put that file like this. See, this is my file. Okay, so this kind of file you'll get. This is a feature extractor. This kind of file you'll get, and you will paste it under pre-trained. Right guys, today I'm not training this anomaly detection model. We will use the trained model which the official repo have trained, and they provided the weight file. We will only perform the testing on any video, okay, to see if anomaly is getting detected or not. And if you want to see the trained weights they have, then for that just come inside this repo, and under the exps, and here we are using this C3D model, and inside this models here you will see the trained model. We will use this trained model. This model is trained to detect anomalies, and using this model and using the feature extractor present over here, we will perform the anomaly detection. Now let's see how to do that. For that we need to enter in this repo, okay, the official repo, and then we will run this command. So Python videodemo.py, then we are using a feature extractor. Why we need this feature extractor? Because first we need to extract the features of the test video, and we are doing that with the help of this pre-trained model, and feature method we have defined is C3D. After that, this model is our anomaly detection model, and I have given the path of it, and then hit enter. So this kind of screen you will get. First open a video, means select a video on which you want to work. So let's pick any video from here only. Let's pick this first video, and then we have to click on this extract features. Features are extracting now. So now features are extracted. Click the play button, click on the play button. This is the video. Right now you can see here the graph is at downward side, because this looks like a normal. Now this person hit the other person. See the graph now, it is going upwards, means if you'll see this blue line going upwards, that means something anomalous is happening, and if it is on the lower side, on the 0 side, that means it is a normal video. Right now it's normal, and now let's see when the other person will come and hit this person. At that time, just see the graph, see, right? So this is how anomaly detection work. So I've given the link in description section. You just follow the steps and you can run this anomaly detection code on your machines. And I hope this video is helpful. Thank you for watching.